Hey gang, so I had a couple people ask me some questions about networking and stuff like that, and kind of an overview of, you know, of talking about my home network a little bit and showing some diagrams and stuff like that. So I thought I'd give you a little run through of what like software-defined switches and networking kind of looks like. So here I have Ubiquity equipment at home. I have their router. My old router died, so I was like, for a few bucks more, I can go to this Pro model. It gives me, some couple different features for some growth later down the line. So I thought, you know what, may not be a bad idea. So here's how my home network kind of lays out. So people ask me how I get this to look so cool looking. That's just because that's how the software lays out. So here's my home router. I'll go over this one in a moment, but this one goes down to my TV. So, so that way I have my console, my TV, my speaker and all that, so it's all wired. And the cool thing with this little guy here, it's also, so this also gets PoE. So I have an inline power brick. It's very small to give you an idea on how small it is. Like if you took like two iPhones and stacked them on top of each other, that would be the size of this thing. It's very small. So it runs off a USB. So it's a 5-port switch with your uplink, so it has 4 devices, which works great for a TV, and they're like 29 bucks. That's what I like about it. This is my larger switch. So what's kind of cool about this one, this is power over Ethernet. The first 8 ports are PoE and the other 8 are not. And then here I have 2 access points. I bought this Wi-Fi 6 Lite. It wasn't got the good coverage that I wanted, so I wound up picking up an extended one because I had the AC one. It was good, but now I'm getting more equipment that's running on Wi-Fi 6. And the main difference between AC and Wi-Fi 6 or AX is the power feature. It's better on battery life. So, so I constantly plugging stuff in, and I have a little vampire sucks, electricity out of all my devices. So, thinking it would make a little more sense. But, with Wi-Fi 6E coming out, that'll be very interesting. So, and then I bought a security camera because the cool feature about this box here, so I'm going to jump into the settings real quick. So the cool part about this box is it has all these functions. So here it runs my wireless and switch management. Here it has a security camera functionality. So like an example, I can jump in here and now I can see my backyard. Yay! Now you saw my backyard. So it's kind of cool for the price you're getting the capability. So like here it has an empty 3.5 inch, so you can you put your own hard drive in there, and then you can, based on the size of that is how much recording you can do. So going back to this update, so here I have a security camera, and the other thing, I consider this is kind of enterprise, not like top 100 companies are going to have, but this is great products for small to medium-sized businesses. They're really expanding their functionality, and they have door access. They have phone system, so it's kind of cool. So all this would work right inside this box. All I'd have to do is just click setup and go through the process if I bought the hardware. So the other nice thing is they don't have a yearly maintenance, so that was kind of a nice thing because I've used their access points for quite a while. And also it's a good way of practicing keeping up with my IT skills is using some little level of enterprise stuff. So like here they have identity management. I'm waiting for that to be approved because that's an early access thing. So here you can see the little EAs. That means it's early access. That means it's not for everybody. So I have put a request in to get access. So we'll see how that goes. So here it automatically checks to see if there's updates. So all my stuff is updated at the time of this video. And then again, here I can jump into my network. Here this shows me, a snapshot of my data. So I'm just going to go through some of the different tabs here. So here's the topology. So it makes the topology, it's kind of hard to see, but I can make it bigger, but it just makes, you can't, the only thing is you can't move it around. It just either moves it as makes it a flat picture. It's not dynamic. So I can turn things off. So like here you can see I have like 3 devices on that access point. It's down in the basement. This one's upstairs in the top of the house, and you can see a lot more stuff connects. And you can see I have a lot more stuff wirelessly on my network. So wireless is a huge thing. So I've always had like home routers, the cheapy ones, and they're always my family's always arguing about, oh, it's not working very good, this isn't working. So I went to one of these business class APs, and man, I really have any problems. Well, I had some problems with version 6, but seems like with their last set of patches they are it's rocking pretty smoothly. So, and then from here we can see all our devices that we have. Here you can see, here's my 2 switches, my router, and you can see right here it has an update. So here's how easy it is to update it. I can just click on the box and say yes, and now it's updating. Otherwise I do have it, or I can schedule it out where in the middle of the night it updates it, but right now nobody's home right now, so I can update this and it's not gonna interfere, because right now I'm making the video. It's not like I'm surfing the web, so at that point it doesn't matter. But I am connected to it, so I can't really move to the next level on this button, so we'll have to wait a moment, which is kind of ironically funny. Should have thought about it. But so you can see some basic statistics here. You can see the status of your devices that they're online, what's their address scheme, and then how are they connected, what networks, what is their speed. So here this says here's gigabit, here this has 2 gigabit, so I have, so this has this is gigabit to the internet. Here I have an uplink. So like an example, in the Network Plus class we talk about taking lines and aggregating links together to make one line. So here I have a 2 gig uplink instead of 1 gig to my router, which is pretty nice. And then here you just enable the APs, and then here we can see here is the access point, or here is my wireless camera. Again, this is a little guy. It's not outside friendly, but it is window friendly. You can put it to the window. That's why I have it right now. And it's pretty cool. You can set up zones and stuff like that. Again, it also has an app that you can access remotely, which is kind of nice too. And let's see. Alright. Well, let's hit refresh. Oh, I guess it's not done loading. Okay, so let's continue. So here we can see a list of all my devices. So it gives little icons in here based on the MAC address. It tells you the vendor. See, LG, Roku, Philips, Intel. So it does do a pretty good job. And then we can go in there and say, oh, this is this, so we can go on this device. Here we can go in here and see the insight, like here's how much data is consumed. We can go into configurations, we can fix this address, so this machine will always get this address. Again, we can block the device if we wanted to. And then traffic status, here you go, look at all this data here we can see. There's a ton of data we can scoop onto this network here. So we can see how much different applications are doing, all these little fun things. And we can see it by day, by week. We can do custom dates. So we can go from here to here. And again, we do a table. And then here it shows you the client. So like an example, 28 devices in the last whatever this is went to YouTube. So here's all the devices that went to YouTube. So again, this is very mild compared to like something like a Palo Alto where I could literally click on Lou's phone and literally dump the history of everything Lou's phone did. Now this doesn't have quite that capability, but hey, for the cost, this is pretty impressive what it offers. Here we can see some Wi-Fi. Here we can see all my neighbors with their Wi-Fi, what type of encryption, their MAC address, their signal ratio to me, what frequencies, what bandwidth they're using, so I can constantly tweak my wireless to be more better, to make sure that it's not interfering, and I can do that with the 5 gigahertz range too. So again, and then like speed test, here's some of the different speed tests I've done, and then it automatically links that right up, which is kind of nice. And then traffic inspection, so here it kind of gives you a little breakdown on how your traffic looks. Here we can set up alerts. So right now I don't have really too many alerts. I have low alerts set up. We can do by whatever type of device. So my access point, my switch has alerts. And then settings. So here I can set up my SSID, and then I can set up my network address schemes. Here we can set up my route to the internet. Here we can set up our security. We have different levels of management here, so we can create rules. We can set speed limits. Schedules are coming soon, but otherwise we can match by actions, by devices. We have threat management, so like right now I'm in the middle, balanced, and I can block countries. Right now I'm blocking 2 countries. Here we have basic firewall rules. So we have some different intrusion detection rules going on. Here we can set up our different notifications. How do I want that, by email or push notification if you have the management or text messaging. And then advanced, again, we can isolate, we can create an isolated network. So what does that mean? Like an example, like if I wanted to have a public, not necessarily a public Wi-Fi, but a friend's Wi-Fi where I have people over, but I want them to actually, be able to scan my computers while they're hanging out in my house. I can just create an isolated network where they can just come in and just go out to the internet and be done with it. So I can do that. I can also set up upload bandwidth profiles to devices. I can restrict certain devices, profile. I can set up a radius. Here we have Wi-Fi, artificial intelligence, where we can do enabling, and then here it runs all the different scans when it runs. And then what it does is it says, okay, here's what's good, and like down here it made some changes. So right now my current settings are pretty good, so that makes that nice. Here we can set up the frequency of the scan, how often, and then here's system. Again, we can go here, the maintenance. So like here I would just do check now, and that's how, like I saw that update I showed you, because I did check now first before class, and then, or before this video, and then just fetch the updates, and then that makes it available when it's listed. And here we can set up our statistics, how much granular do we want to get, support. So if we need to work with the organization to troubleshoot, we can generate files for these things. So that's just a quick little run through of my little network here. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you have any questions, again, talk to me in my office hours, or you have my phone number to talk more if you have questions. Alright, catch you later.